Hello, family. Greetings. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome. This is Dr. Kia Pruitt. Welcome to the Dr. Kia Pruitt Show. Today is Tuesday, July the 23rd, 2024, and the time is 1:37 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this is Tuesday, Tahuti Day. Tahuti in ancient Egypt was the god of knowledge, writing, and wisdom. He was considered the god of gods as it was concerned or relating to messenger or the messenger god. And that's why Tuesdays is one of the most important days to the elite when it comes to making announcements. So welcome, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good night. We have some great news for those of you who are waiting on NESARA news. And first, let's just check in and see where everybody is hailing from. Good afternoon, good morning, everybody. It's so good to see everybody. Listen, while you're checking in, I'm going to tell you that there's word on the street, rumor that President Biden is 6 feet under. Now, they're saying these are wild rumors and it's not true, but we know, we've been reporting that he's been gone since 2018. I showed you the evidence of that. You can look it up. I'll bring that to you right now. But there is a rumor going around saying that he is gone, 6 feet under. And according to mainstream media, it's not true. And that these rumors were spread by a famous boxer by the name of Ryan Garcia. Once he spread that rumor, it just went like wildfire. And that is interesting because mainstream media is trying to get ahead of that news and saying, oh, it's not true that he's gone. Another announcement that was made is that who is it that another former president, Jimmy Carter, is allegedly 6 feet under and that he has croaked. So it looks like people that were involved in the deep state just dropping. And of course, mainstream media is saying that's not true. Why am I bringing that information up? Because we know that it's highly unlikely that NESARA would be announced or our Jubilee would be a reality or realized under the Biden watch. So having Biden to leave the scene is very, very key and critical to NESARA, the National Economic Security and Reformation Act, being ushered in. So keep checking in, family. I don't want to bore your time. I see Canada's in the house. I see Michigan is in the house. Good morning. I see you all checking in from all over the world. I see who else? Colorado in the house. So many of you are here. Another person from Canada. So yeah, Jimmy Carter allegedly died early this morning. Hello, Stella from the UK. But let's check in with mainstream media and see if they're telling us that this is the case or not. Who said that? Somebody said New Zealand is in the house. All right, good to see you. Yeah, so allegedly Jimmy Carter died early this morning per release from his family. But I saw a mainstream media report that said his family denied the rumors. We don't know what's going on, but we do know it is our time. This is the year of eight, 2024. 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 4 is 8. 8 is the number of abundance and prosperity. And why would I know that? Because it's my life path number. So if you want to know what your life path number is, look at the month, the date, and the year of your birth, add all those numbers up. You'll probably come up with 2 digits and then add up those 2 digits and you'll come up with your life path number. And that life path number tells you something about the trajectory of your life, the path you should be on, what type of things you should be doing. And my life path number happens to be an 8, which means that I am going to experience prosperity and abundance, and I am to teach about prosperity and abundance. And that's why I am the silver goddess, my darling, and a go guru-ess. So let's get into the news because this is a time of Jubilee. And speaking of the number 8, I would be really interested in seeing what happens in August because that is the 8th month, at least in our reality. And so what I would expect us to see is something around August the 8th, 2024, because you'll see 3 8s. So speaking of prosperity, abundance, and peace, I can only imagine what's going to happen in our reality in August, on August 8th. And that is also the time when Orion and many of the stars line up with each other. It's called the Lion's Gate. And historically and according to legend, August the 8th, being the Lion's Gate, is the time you're supposed to come out, bursting through the gate, declaring your victory, roaring like a lion. So August the 8th, you always see something happen on that date. So I'm expecting, again, our prosperity to be realized either before then or around that time, because again, that's the Lion's Gate. And that is, according to legend, the time when the ancestors or galactic beings actually traveled through the portal, because you have Orion and other stars lining up from Nibiru all the way to Earth. And allegedly, that's when they traveled through that portal onto the planet. So we'll see what happens. We don't know exactly what's going to happen because we don't know dates specifically, but we can look at history to predict what's going to happen in the future. So the breaking news is that Biden allegedly passed. And so according to mainstream media, they're saying it's not true. This particular article is by Onita, and it says, a recent social media frenzy has spread like wildfire. Widespread concerns about the health and well-being of the United States President Joe Biden. The rumors fueled by a false tweet were by boxing star Ryan Garcia, and various online videos and claims have led to a widespread speculation that he has passed on. But they're saying, let's set the record straight and separate fact from fiction. And they go on to say, we all know that he announced that he has CV, the sickness that shut down the world. We also know that they're saying that the numbers in the CV have increased in 7 states. Look at the numbers, 7 states particularly, but all across America and in some areas across the globe. So we know that he announced that he has CV. He's supposed to be home, convalescing and getting well. But according to them, even though that happened on July 17th, like the 17th letter Q, even though that happened, that doesn't mean he passed on, is what they're saying. This information was publicly disclosed by his office that he had the CV, but there's no credible evidence to suggest otherwise, according to this news outlet. So they're saying Ryan Garcia's tweet is false. He's a professional boxer. He tweeted false claims that Joe Biden had passed away, and the tweet was widely shared. And here's the tweet here. He says, just like that, Joe Biden is a goner, DEAD. All the ish you do without true repentance, we have you surely, DEAD. I can't even say rest in peace, he says. I am celebrating. So Joe Biden was probably one of the most horrible presidents we've had in our history, in our timeline. I mean, not only was he involved in a lot of things as it relates to what went on in the Ukraine, but you can look at many, many things that he's done that in terms of like locking up African-American men, he and Kamala Harris, for nonviolent offenses. He's known for calling us super predators and our men super predators. He's known for destroying our global economy and our economy here. And when you look at the oversight.house.gov website, and you will see the evidence that James Comer, the chairperson of the House Oversight Committee, produced that suggests and shows and proves that Joe Biden was the head of the cartel, the drug cartel, the human sex trafficking cartel, and the Biden crime family. So having him gone and exit the planet is news to us and good news to us, because again, we couldn't have NESARA and our economic and financial jubilee ushered in under his watch. So this is exciting news, family. So even though the actor playing Joe Biden is gone now, and that information probably will come out very, very soon, we knew that this had happened a while ago, and we've reported that many times over that he's been gone. So let's see if I can find this post for you. I showed you this yesterday, and I showed you this when we found it, actually. So on this post here, you can see his name, Joseph Robinette Biden, date of birth, November 20th, 1942. You see the place of his birth was in Lackawanna County, and that the death place was Guantanamo, Cuba. And when did it happen? 2018, date of his death. Now I'll show you a short video clip so that you can see that he's been gone. He was executed at Guantanamo Bay in 2018. But But the actor playing as Joe Biden just left the scene. Hold on 1 minute. I'll bring this up for you. Um, I'm excited because this is our time, family. This is what we've been waiting on for all of these horrible actors to exit stage left. Okay, so take a look at and a listen at this. I am in the library, so I won't turn it up too loudly, but loud enough for you to hear, and then I'll put it in the description section for you. And as a matter of fact, let me put it in the chat for you right now because we're going to go over Agenda 47 so I can show you how we're about to experience a wonderful, wonderful reality. So let's see. Hold on. Listen closely. Wait a minute.
All right, I'm gonna just.
Let me pull that up a little bit. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna just tell you guys this one time. Go to ancestry.com. Look up all death, burial, cemetery, and obituary results for Joseph Robinette Biden. You scroll down. What does that say? Death, 2018 Guantanamo Bay, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. That tells you everything you need to know. Everything. But he is dead. You all are watching a movie. Stop watching fucking Central Casting.
All right. So I dropped that in the chat for you all to see. Allegedly, you can go to ancestry.com, type in his name, and you will see the evidence that he is gone. Now, what about what's going on house.oversight.gov? If you go to that website, oversight.house.gov, and you go to the search part of that, you type in Biden. And I'm going to show you that oversight.house.gov. Type in Biden. I typed it in for you already, and you will see James Comer, who is the chair of the House Oversight Committee, has lots of evidence. Comer subpoenaed White House aides running interference for President Biden amid cognitive decline. He seeks transcribed interview with Biden's physician. It's so much information here about things that Biden has been participating in. I won't go over all this, but there are lots of tabs for you to click on. Let me put that in the chat for you so you can see. You'll see checks that he wrote to and received from the Chinese Communist Party. You'll see checks from the Ukrainian mafia and all sorts of things. You will also see a transcript of an interview with someone who worked for the Biden crime family, who ratted on him and blew the whistle on him and talked about how he was involved in nefarious activities in the Ukraine as it relates to human trafficking, child sex trafficking, drug trafficking, money laundering, et al. Et cetera, et cetera. So I put that in the description section for you, and I will make sure you all have that in the chat as well as description section so you can read that for yourself. James Comer had told us, I want to say a year or two ago, that he would do a thorough investigation into the Biden crime family. That's his job as being the chairperson over the House Oversight Committee, and that he would make sure he get rid of him because he has posed as a security breach. So you had James Comer working on him. You had Marjorie Taylor Greene bringing up articles and impeaching against him. You had the Brunson brothers bringing a case against Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, and 385 members of Congress. So you had so many people trying to get rid of this wicked, wicked man. So keep checking in, family. We have 630 people in the chat. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video because we're doing the work of the Most High over here. You guys, if you have any more information about what's going on, let us know. Check in, drop it in the chat, and we'll look at it together. So Joe Biden is out of here. He's 6 feet under. That news will come out. The mainstream media is trying to get ahead of the news because they want to tell the story their way and spin it their way. And it's interesting, all this is going on. And at the same time, we had that unalivement of the lady yesterday, the Black lady, the African-American woman by a cop. And I know that happened in order to divert our attention from some other news. Oh, I'm so glad I bought my computer charger. I thought it was fully charged. They're trying to divert our attention. They want us to be divided. They want to stage all type of false flag events so that we won't know that we're free, that this is our time of Jubilee. This is the eighth year, two, like I said, 2 + 0 + 2 + 4 is 8. And this is a season of Jubilee. This is the season of Jubilee. The 50th year. Every 50th year, according to the Hebrews, you're supposed to have a jubilee where you wipe away all the debt from the slaves, and you're supposed to have a huge celebration. And many Hebrew scholars claim that this is around that time. So it makes sense that it's happening in 2024. Now, let's see, what year is this with the Chinese? 2024 is what type of Chinese year? Year of the Dragon. The Chinese calendar describes the specific animal and element associated with a particular year. The year of the dragon in 2024 is associated with the element of the wood. The combination of the animal sign dragon and the element wood designates the year of the wood dragon. So let's see what that means. And I know this is the 2024, and according to this calendar, I don't know what year it is according to other calendars. You guys can let me know in the chat. Okay. Let's see what the year of the dragon represents. While we're going to that, let me see. It says Happy New Year. What's the year of the dragon? The year of the wood dragon. What is it going to tell us? The year of the wood dragon represents. It's associated. Oh, they talk about the taboos. I'm not interested in the taboos. Oh, let's see. Let me write that. So, what is the year of the wood dragon? I'm going to look this up for you. What does the year of the wood dragon mean? Let me get out of this here. Wait a minute, family. I'm going to talk about Jimmy Carter's passing away in a minute, but let's look at the year of the wood dragon, 2024. The Chinese horoscope for 2024 foretells a year of prosperity for the dragon, symbolizing authority, abundance, and good fortune. Ooh, this was written in the Economic Times. Let me click on this for you guys. I told you this is the year of Jubilee. Yes. So I'm going to put that in the chat for you. I just clicked on the article here, and I'll make sure I put it in the description section as well. Somebody said, thank you. Glenn says, Dr. Key, I just found out, wait a minute. I just found you days ago. Now subscribe. Yay. Your sincerity is, they keep clicking me out, family. Your sincerity is irrefutable. Praise you and your energy and efforts for keeping all of us in the loop. Thank you. Lastly, can you have on Rod Hayes? I've had him on. Yes, I've had him on. Look on my channel. You'll see him on. So what year is it in other calendars, family? Can you let me know? Let me see. What year is it in other calendars? We are in 6261 in the Comet calendar. Wow. Wow, thank you. And I think that all comes up to number 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Wow, thank you for that. You're welcome. So this is the year of the wood dragon. And let's see what it says. This is the Economic Times. As the vibrant year of the wood dragon commences on February the 10th, 2024, a surge of transformative energy sweeps in, inviting individuals of all zodiac signs to embrace the unique influence of the celestial combination. Beyond the elemental dance of wood, this auspicious year promises a tapestry of opportunities. All right. All right, beautiful. So I'm going to put that in the description in section for you. I don't really have the time to go over that because I want to look at the agenda 47 with you all. Um, so let me click out of there. But again, it represents abundance, authority, and prosperity. So that's exciting. Now, back to more news. Back to more news. They're saying that the rumors about Jimmy Carter passing away is fake. It's interesting how mainstream media tries to get ahead of rumors that spread all across social media, unless it's something that will cause us to be upset. For example, the unaliving of the shooting or the young lady that occurred yesterday. Remember that? I covered that late last night, that there was a African American woman who was shot by police in Illinois, shot in the face. Let's see what her name was. I can't remember what her name was, but they're saying that, she this is a horrible event, and of course, if it's true, it is horrible. So my advice is for everybody to keep your emotions in check, because they often stage some type of shooting of an African American person in order to garner the votes of the so-called Black community on the Democratic side or with the liberals. But while this is going on, that they're spreading this news and people are starting to march and protest and all of that, we know that our freedom and prosperity and liberation is not. So we're not even, we're sending our prayers to them. We condemn cop killings of anybody from any nationality, race, creed, religious. It's not about black or white. We don't care, to just side with one group of people. We condemn any type of unaliving. But I will say that they usually do this every election season. As well as somebody brought up last night, there's always a disease that happens every election year. And she actually highlighted like the SARS, the CV, and Zika, and all different illnesses that happen every single election year. And speaking of illnesses, they are saying there's another surge of the CV that's spreading across America right now, and it just happens to be an election year. So Sonia Massey was her name. She was shot by a cop yesterday in the face. And of course, it was a white cop, and his name was Sean Grayson. She was a Black woman. And I think the reason why they chose a Black woman, because, they stage false flag events now. Okay. So I think they chose a Black woman because Kamala Harris is the presidential pick for the Democratic Party. So they're going to play on the emotions of Black women, because our Black men or Aboriginal copper colored African American men, they have awakened and they're saying they're not voting for a liberal. They've seen how liberals have destroyed the Black community with getting the fathers out of the home, with locking up Black men, and doing all type of nefarious things by giving Black women a lot of benefits and pitting us against one another. So the men are waking up and they're saying, we're not putting up with this. We're going to ride with Trump or any Republican and the restoration of the Republican Party. A lot of sisters haven't awakened yet because they benefited from the system, from welfare, food stamps, from being separated from our men, from being strong and independent with that whole so-called Black girl magic, thinking we can do no wrong and our poop don't stink. So now they're playing on the emotions of our women by having a cop to unalive a Black woman, and Kamala Harris being a pick for the president. But she is unlawful. An unlawful pick. She cannot serve because, according to the Constitution, in order to be the president, you have to be a natural born American and subject to the jurisdiction of the area in which you were born. So it's not just about proximity, it's about allegiance. And who can back me up other than John Eastman, who is a constitutional expert, an expert in constitutional law. So look up John Eastman. He will say the same thing as I. Kamala Harris is not fit or constitutionally able to serve. So we're sorry for Sonia Massey and what happened to her and her family. We send them prayers, blessings, and positive energy, but we're not going to focus on that. We're going to focus on, after we send our energy there, our jubilee and being united as one soul family. They're going to try to get our attention off what's really going on behind the scenes. So Jimmy Carter allegedly passed away this morning, but Fox News and other news outlets are saying it's fake. Fake Jimmy Carter death announcement spreads like wildfire on X. This is out of Atlanta. News that former President Jimmy Carter died on Tuesday, Tahuti Day is what I call it, does not appear to be true. X, formerly known as Twitter, is blowing up right now because of an announcement that appears to have been originally posted by far-right political activist and internet personality Laura Loomer. The post quickly began trending on social media, with many people retweeting it without taking a closer look. If they had, they would have noticed the multiple inaccurate statements specifying or specifically in paragraph 2 through 4. Loomer seemed to have realized fairly quickly that the announcement was fake, but her tweet had already been retweeted many times. It appears that this letter saying that Jimmy Carter has passed away is fabricated, according to this article. Why would somebody fabricate a letter saying a president dies, according to this here? Loomer is now being roasted by those who realize right away that it was not factual, asking why she didn't read it or why she didn't realize that it was satire. So again, news about anything that would make us happy, mainstream media try to get ahead of it and saying it's fake. If Jimmy Carter is gone, God bless his family. May his soul rest wherever it's supposed to rest, whether in heaven or hell, in the bosom of the Almighty or in the bosom of Satan. Wherever it's supposed to go, so be it. And we'll send prayers and positive thoughts to the family. But we know most presidents, if not all, were involved in the cabal and the deep state. So, and he's old anyway, so he served his time. Go on, and he's gone as well as Biden is gone. In the meantime, mainstream media wants us to focus on this young lady, Sonia Massey, who was allegedly shot and unalived by Grayson, who is a Caucasian cop. If that's true or not, we don't know, because the deep state, like I said, they often stage false flag events such as O.J. Simpson, false flag. His wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, look a lot like Megyn Kelly, the reporter, the journalist. Not saying that's her, but show looks like her. False flag. Rodney King, false flag. Many of the so-called unaliveness of African-American men, false flag. Now, false flag doesn't mean that it didn't happen. It means that they focus on it in order to harness our energy. Because when you're upset and you're enraged and you're angry and you're fearful, you emit a psychic energy called loosh, Loosh, and that's what these beings that are on the planet enslaving humanity, or were on the planet enslaving humanity, that's what they harness. It's what they eat, like we eat food. They absorb that energy. So it's so important for us to harness our energy ourselves and take control of our emotions and stay grounded, because they're going to keep staging things like cyber attacks, grounding of planes, information about the CV coming out, making you think that you have to wear a mask again. But remember, a mandate is not law. They can mandate shots, they can mandate masks, but they can't force you to do it. It only becomes something that is law when you are complicit, when you give your consent, when you agree. That's when it becomes binding. So know that a mandate is not a law. So let's keep our emotions in check and let's focus on the good news. This is the year of the wood dragon, a year of prosperity, a year of abundance, a year of surplus. This is a year of jubilee, when all debts will be wiped away, and when we will have trillions of dollars ejected into the global economy. Now, we already see currencies revaluing all over the globe. We already see the BRICS nations growing and expanding and sticking together. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. They tapped on the shoulder of many nations. Saudi Arabia and all exporting nations have agreed to drop the United States dollar for trade and to go to the gold standard. So we already know the world is hurtling back to gold as money. Rushing to reclaiming gold and silver as money. The whole world, not just the East, not just Africa. In fact, I showed you an article that said all African nations have just joined BRICS. It said first it said they intended to join BRICS. Now we know that they have joined Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, which is huge. And we know they're able to do this because all nations have had their gold repatriated back to themselves from the Vatican. And they will use that gold to back their currencies. So we're here. The world is hurtling back towards gold as money. This is the article that came out February 16, 2023. And I announced that when it happened. The consequences of Russia and her Asian allies embracing gold backing for their currencies are poorly understood in Western capital markets, this article says, but this move could lead to the destruction of the global fiat currency system. Could, it says could lead to the global currency fiat system. No, my darlings, it has led to the global currency fiat system. And I'll put that in the description section for you. Somebody says regarding Kamala, did that not apply to her VP in a position? Yes, she's not lawfully able to serve as a vice president either, because the same laws that say you what you have to do in order to be president is the same thing you have to do in order to serve as vice president, because you can move up to that seat. So they operated unlawfully, which is why they're arrested behind the scenes, which is why you haven't even seen Kamala Harris. She's already been judged and shipped off to Guantanamo Bay. You just see an actor playing her. So you are so right. No, they're not able to. With the Chevron doctrine passed, the Chevron doctrine, this Supreme Court of the United States ruled to overturn the Chevron doctrine. And the Chevron doctrine, for many of you who don't know, stated that the federal agencies and many of these entities and corporations could create their own rules, laws, stipulations, policies, and we had to abide by them. And if we tried to challenge them, then judges would defer right back to those agencies and agents and say they are the experts, so you have to abide by them. So that was overturned. No, they cannot come up with a mandate, but you may have some minions that will try to do a mandate. So it's up to us to know the law. It's up to us to know that we are sovereign. We have reign, rule, and control of our own lives. It's up to us to know that mandate is not a law and that we do not have to comply. In fact, we need to get it into our minds right now. I will not comply. I will not be complicit in my own enslavement. No matter what a minion says, a devil, Satan himself, he can get under my feet. He has no power, no authority over me. He does not rule me. I control and rule my own self, because even the definition of sovereign, when you look at it, sovereign means over, reign means rule and control. So you have sovereignty, reign, rule, and control over yourself. And that's the way it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be self-governing. That's why we had to get rid of the deep state and the cabal, because we govern ourselves. We don't need them to govern us. We don't need their government. Govern to rule meant your mind. That's what they've been doing, ruling over our mind, making us think we have to fall in line with whatever they tell us to do. Excellent question. Our debts will be completely wiped away. No, I didn't hear about a geomagnetic storm tomorrow. We rebuke that, and we speak and command that rumor to go back to from whence it came. So let's speak to it now. There will be no geomagnetic storm. There is power in our words. Words cast spells. We speak against a geomagnetic storm. We speak prosperity. We speak peace. We speak love. We speak joy. We speak abundance here and now. And whatever we say, so it is. Amen. Thank you, Sister JL. I love you. Says, we appreciate you, Dr. Pruitt. Peace and love from Chicago. So let's see what else is in the news. I wanted to let you all know, and I did let you all know, that Jimmy Carter has passed, allegedly. Joe Biden has passed, allegedly. And that means that now we can usher in the Jubilee, the time of celebration. We can usher in everything that NESARA is about. Now, we'll go into a little bit later about the tenets of NESARA, but I want to bring your attention to Agenda 47. Agenda 47 is a part of the Trump campaign. It is a manifesto of the Republican Party. And it's interesting that we're bringing up how the Republicans are now back in control and they will win the elections or whatever we're going to have, because we are getting rid of the United States Incorporated and we're bringing back in the Republic, which is our lawful government. Okay, so the Republic is being restored. Now, Agenda 47 is the manifesto of the Republican Party and their candidate, Donald Trump. And it details policies that are being implemented upon his election on the 47th president. That's why they call it Agenda 47, because he's the 47th president of the corporation. So what I want to show you today is what Agenda 47 is because we may not have elections. I'm just going to put it out there. We may not have elections because there's no more corporation, no more United States Incorporated. Whether President Trump is coming back as the president or not, we really don't know. We hope so, but just know that it's not about the man, it's about the name, it's about the brand, it's about the position, the Trump aura, what Trump means. They're trumping the deep state. They're trampling over the deep state. They are playing the last hand to completely take out the deep state. Okay, so they're using the Trump image and the Trump brand to get rid of the deep state. Who's behind Trump is a benevolent faction and a group of beings such as the military that is ushering in a new golden, beautiful, abundant reality. And I showed you on yesterday proof that the military is in control. So if you missed that live, please go back and look at that live from yesterday, but I'll pull it up for you so you can see it. And I'll show you the proof. Now, according to Benjamin Fulford, who is a publisher and editor, he was for Forbes in Japan, and he's now a geopolitical analyst. Allegedly, Joe Biden announced that we were under military occupation at the NATO conference on July the 9th. And I showed you something from the website on July 9th that does show that, it talks about the military being in charge. You kind of have to know how to decipher the language. But I'm going to bring that for you up here today. Right now. Let me see if I can find that. But you need to look at that live, family. The live yesterday says, keep your emotions in check. The deep state stages things every election. You need to see that one. And then, let's see. Yes, that is the one you need to see. Military occupation. Here, I'm going to drop that in the chat for you so you can look at that video. You'll see that we're under a military occupation. And the reason being is because anytime you have a coup d'etat of your government, according to our Constitution, you may form a military to go in and drag those people out and to restore the republic. That's a constitutional right. So the military took it upon themselves, and Pope Francis in 2014 said it would happen if they didn't cease and desist. He wasn't being benevolent. He was just letting people know. And I've done videos on motu proprio. So please look up that video. All my videos on motu proprio on my YouTube channel, and you'll see the letter of Pope Francis saying that their time was up. Is Trump dead? Well, it depends on who you follow. Benjamin Fulford has been saying for years, the geopolitical analyst, that the real Trump passed away in 1989. And John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr., who is alive, by the way, he's become a friend of mine and a brother, and I've had him on my channel a couple of times, also said that Donald Trump, who is his cousin, passed away in a plane accident or helicopter crash in 1989. So that's why I'm saying they're using the Trump brand, the Trump name, the Trump image, what Trump means to trample over and take out the deep state. So whether it's the real Trump that's in front of us or not, we don't know, because we've seen about 5 different characters play him, just like we've seen many characters play Joe Biden. So it is the name that they're using. I see Chief Mack here said the world is in the hands of the wicked. Tell live vision. You cannot trust the media. They will mislead you. The fake Biden is supposed to speak at 8 o'clock at night. If they don't go ahead and release that, he's already gone. Because remember, this is Tuesday, Tahuti Day. They always make interesting and very important announcements on Tuesday. It looks like my computer is frozen. Wow. Family, can y'all see me? Because my computer froze and I often have problems when I'm trying to speak this truth. I'm just going to wait and see what happens. I hope y'all can see me. I cannot even click on my computer. There we go. There. Whoo. Whoo. Yeah, hologram Biden might come up. Oh, you can see me. Okay, so let's get into Agenda 47 because that is the manifesto for the Republican Party. Oh, you can see me. Thanks, sweetheart. I love you. Let's see. I want to show you Agenda 47 because it reads like a playbook of NESARA in terms of ushering in a nice, beautiful reality. Now, it doesn't express all the tenets of NESARA. We'll come back on later at another time, maybe late tonight or tomorrow to do that. But I'm going to show you what Agenda 47 looks like if I can find it on my screen. Keep checking in, family. Let us know where you're hailing from. Here we go. Nope, that's not it. So what's happening with my computer is it's kind of freezing on my end, but I hear from you all that you can see me. So I'm going to bring up Agenda 47. Project 2025 is something just to get you upset and worried. It will not happen. And they're trying to make it seem like Trump came up with this. Is that the mandatory draft? That's not going to happen because we're entering in an era of peace. Project Sandman was not just about 209 nations that agreed to return to the gold standard when triggered, that they will all drop the dollar and return to the gold standard. Project Sandman is also an agreement, a secret agreement between 209 nations that they will return to planetary peace and there will be no wars. And this is why we're going to have NESARA to come in. This is why BRICS was formed. It was to start all of this in motion. So there will not be any mandatory drafts. There will be an era of peace. Now you will see military still because somebody might try to act a fool and get beside themselves, but I don't believe we'll have a mandatory draft, and mandatory is not law. Remember that. We have to understand and understand who you are. You're sovereign. Mandate is not a law. We keep going along with these mandates to take a shot, to take medicine, to agree to wear a mask, to agree to be what do you call it? Some type of specimen so they can do what am I trying to say? Research and development on us. We have to stop being complicit in our own enslavement. We agree to taxes. Paying income taxes is voluntary. So a mandatory draft, we have to do what we can to not be complicit. A mandate is not a law. And remember, men, I'm going to charge you with this task. The Constitution says that if there's a coup d'etat or somebody tries to infringe upon your freedoms and our freedoms, it's your job to protect us and to create a military to go after them and to get rid of them. Ladies, stop thinking you're equal to men. You're not. You're not a man. You're not built like a man. Your mind is not like a man. You were not created to fight wars like a man. Men were created for war. They put their life on the line to protect the women and the children. But you got to stop acting like you're equal to a man, like you don't need a man. You got to stop putting your mouth on men and learn to shut your mouth and stay in your place so that they can protect you and your children. Now, you want to cry moan and complain. Black women are the most unprotected women in the world. You the ones that say you don't need a man. You the ones that said I'm strong and independent and I got black girl magic. Who run the world? Girls. Who run this mother? Girls. You don't want to think you a man. You the one that agreed to let government and massa be your husband. You the one that say you don't need them. So why would they protect you? Why would anybody stand in front of a woman that thinks she can do everything on her own, even though the men build the infrastructure, even though the men are the ones that created this world to be so safe that we can say whatever we want to say? Like, really, we need to learn to shut our mouths, because if there's another rogue element that comes to try to take over, it's going to be the men that stand in front to protect us. So we got to stop this. It's just egregious. This whole feminism has taken over and made us so vicious and independent that now the men don't even want to protect us. Men, please, I beg you, forgive us for our foolishness. I beg you. Mama Kia is begging you, please don't leave us. Please protect us. We need you. I need you. The babies need you. Look at the condition in our world with all these babies being on drugs and unaliving each other in the streets. We need you, men. We're sorry. We've done you wrong. Please forgive us. Have mercy on us. Really, we need you. So let's look at Agenda 47. There are not too many soy boys because of the emasculation of men. I wouldn't even call them soy boys. Yes, men, I wouldn't call them soy boys. I think what has happened is that men, while the food does try to emasculate men have decided, y'all call me if I'm a man, if I try to be a man and I'm doing what men do, and I say you're beautiful, or I try to hit on you, or tell you that I want you, or ask you for sex, then you call me a dog, or you try to get me fired from the job. And that's why women shouldn't be in the workforce. I'm just going to go out and say women shouldn't be in the workforce, because y'all call them your work husbands. You tell them all your business. You wear tight clothes, tight shirts. You wear your cleavage, showing all your cleavage. You think you're cute. You're in the gym showing all your bottom, squatting and putting your bottom in the air and opening up your legs in front of men. You're on a beach with your butt crack all out and thongs all up your bottom with your cheeks all out and all your breasts hanging, and you might as well be naked walking around the beach prancing around. And then when a man hits on you or look at you, you want to say that there's something wrong with him. There ain't no soy boys out here, very few of them. And quiet as kept, a lot of these men have turned into homosexuals, either because they're raped by the men that y'all have running through your house, because you single and independent. You got all these men running through your house, and so they doing stuff to your children. And other of them acting like soy boys because they've been raised by women and by mama and grandmama. Let's keep it all the way 100. Yes, the food does affect the men, but so do the women. Because if a boy is around a woman all the time, he gonna pick up those feminine mannerisms. And if you're talking about his daddy saying he's a no good Negro, guess what? You're talking about your son. If you're on the line talking about men are no good, you don't need a man, you hate men, they're horrible, they're soy boys, you're talking about your son. And your son look in the mirror and who he see? His daddy. So you're talking about his daddy and all these men, you're talking about your sons. That's where the soy boys come from. Let's keep it all the way 100. We need to take onus and accountability for how we have ruined our men and how we have contributed to it. Because contrary to what we think as women, it's very, very difficult to raise a boy to a man. And a man will tell you it's not possible to turn a boy into a man, because men make men. Yes, we have to heal ourselves as women. And as a woman, I'm going to speak the truth, like it or not. You say whatever you want. I was married. I got married as a virgin at 18 to my husband, had all my children by one man. Women hate when I say that, some of them, but it matters. It matters because some women would try to say, oh, you're not married. My husband passed away 2 years ago, and I took care of him to the day he closed his eyes. I can speak. I was a wife. I have 8 children. I have 7 sons and 1 daughter. We have been egregious. There was a time when I was divorced and separated. And I bought into the ideology. I can do this, but it only took me 3.5 seconds to say, no, you can't. No, you can't. You can't do this by yourself. And I took my little sad tail right back to the man that I had given my allegiance to and pled at 15. We knew we were going to get married when I was 15, married him at 18, went right back. I'm sorry for whatever part I played in the breakdown of this relationship. And if anybody spoke against my husband, no matter what happened in our marriage, I quickly correct them. Stay in your place. Y'all need to keep your family business out of the earshot of your children, because it ain't none of their business what happened between you and daddy. The only thing they need to know is that's your daddy and I'm your mama. I'm your daddy and that's your mama. Whatever happened between us, don't let it come out of your mouth, because it ain't none of your business. Because what's happening is we have been complicit in destroying our own families. We have been complicit as women. I'm sick and tired of seeing women online talk about men. You got sons and you all up online trying to make money, talking about how men are no good and men need to just send you a cash app. You whore. You's a hoe. Just send me a cash app. Send me my money. How can I find out how to get money from a man? But if a man asks you for sex, there's something wrong with him. He's operating in his nature. And then we don't want to submit to a man, but we'll submit to massa, to the government, because if massa say you can't have a man in your house, we won't have him in the house. If massa asks you to show you how much you're making, you're going to show him that. But about Agenda 2025 or whatever agenda about the mandatory draft, I bet you women going to try to get out of that. But you wanted to be equal to a man. Better learn how to stay in your place and pay your position. Because we need these men to protect us. These people ain't playing with us. Men weren't only created to fight other men. Men were created to fight energies. These beings that came to enslave the planet, they have energies that women cannot fight against. And that is why men were created, to protect us against those energies. There are certain energies that will attack a woman and a child that will not dare attack a man. Will not dare attack a man. So we need men. Men, I am sorry for what we have done to you. I am so, so sorry for what we have said about you and done to you to make you feel like you can no longer protect us. Men can't even work now because if you look at a woman a certain way, she'll go to the HR department after she's been flirting with you and calling you her work husband and showing you all her cleavage and her butt cheeks and her vagina and her breasts. And then teach her daughters to be a whore. And can't decide if she want a man or a woman. Women have just gotten out of line. I'm not speaking to what the men have done. I'm not a man. I'll let the men check a man. Chief Mack is very good at educating boys and help them to become men. So there are men out here doing the work. I will encourage the men to continue to do the work to inspire other men to be men, because men are made. Off my soapbox. President Trump has come up with something called Agenda 47. One of the tenets of the Agenda 47 is that he is declaring war on the cartels. And he has said that the southern border has become a cesspool for human traffickers, drug traffickers, and such to rush through our borders. But President Trump, under Agenda 47, is declaring war against them. And he's announced that when he becomes the president again, he will take down the drug cartels. So whether it's President Trump or not, The Trump brand, the Trump name, the Trump image, whoever is coming in, they're going to usher this in. But they have to say it's going to be Trump in order to seed this information into the consciousness of we people. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, ma'am, we are so sorry. Thank you. We love you. Please be our hero. Thank you. You guys are amazing. Yeah, soy boys, that's a big expression. We gotta clean our hands and speak. We've spoken against our men so much that they don't even want to protect us now. And don't you know it's a man's nature to come on to a woman? No, it's up to the other men to train him how to do that. Thank you. Daughters now put their mothers in nursing homes under conservatorship. They're becoming wicked. I didn't know that, Sister Ivana. And it used to be a time when we understood that we were the nurturers. Thank you. All the elders that's speaking up, thank you. The elder men, but especially the women, thank you. We got to usher back in this mama energy to, restore the family. Thank you. I'm a simple mom and it has been challenging. Yet simple mom and single mom, maybe even single mom, it's not. So what I would encourage all my single moms, even if your husband had an indiscretion, if he cheated on you, if he was disrespectful, if maybe you left because you weren't happy, because 70%, over 70% of marriages or in a divorce because the woman files for divorce, over 70% of divorces are filed by women. If no matter what has happened, please get some counseling and some healing and maybe even some coaching, talk to your spiritual leader, whatever it takes, get some healing because we're all human, so we make mistakes, right? So do whatever you can to heal and still let your children have a relationship with the father, okay? Even if you're not together, please let that happen for the sake of the children. Even if you're not guilty of anything, because sometimes we have to take ownership that we have contributed to the breakdown of a relationship. But say you haven't done anything and it just didn't work out. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, if at all possible, do everything you can to follow peace with all men, something like that. And then there's another scripture in the Bible that says, God, the words are escaping me. Suffer yourself to be defrauded. So even if you haven't done wrong, it's okay to say, look, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for, or I take ownership for this relationship not working out. Can we come together to, become friends again or to restore our family? Or can we be amicable? When you come to a man like that, ladies, they become so happy and they are willing to work with you usually. And just be sweet, just be pleasant, just forgive and let it go, whatever happened between you. Do what all the work it takes to do that because you've needed grace for something. And if you needed grace, it's good to extend grace. And do it for the sake of the children because our children are hurting because of the breakdown of relationship. They don't even care about who did what. Really, that's our issue. Who did what to whom? They just want their fathers involved because I showed you the statistics of what happens in a home when fathers aren't involved. Let me get back to this agenda though, and we'll get to that. If I can find it. You probably can see it up on your screen. I can't see it. Oh, here we are. President Trump is going to end homelessness of the veterans. And he pledges to make sure that's completely eradicated and make sure he provides the resources that our veterans that have served in the military is taken care of. The illegals that cross the border, no more welfare, no more benefits. This is a NESARA component as well, that in order to receive the benefits that will be ejected into the global economy, you have to go back to your home country. So President Trump says no more welfare benefits for aliens. All the money coming into America is for Americans. The jobs that are in America is for Americans. If you're illegal, you go back home. He has an American Academy that he's been fighting for, and that is free education, free university education for anybody who desires to receive it. He has a message to the American auto workers that it's been egregious that we've sent these factories abroad. And he also said it's horrible that Biden is saying that 67% of all automobiles have to be electric. When electric automobiles, they don't even work as well as the other automobiles. As a matter of fact, they cost more, and you have to let them charge for hours. And there's a specific component or part that's involved in the making of those electric automobiles that comes from China. President Trump said, we're going to end that. And he apologized to the American auto workers and said, we're going to bring those factory jobs right back home so that cities like Detroit, Cleveland, and your big cities can boom again. He pledges to help homeschooling families, and that's in alignment with school choice. Florida has been the leader in school choice programs, as well as some of the other states. And what he's doing is he's diverting funds from public school, or some of the mayors, I should say, or governors are diverting funds from public school and Department of Education to homeschool programs. And President Trump is saying people that homeschool or send their kids to private school should have support. They should have money. They should even have credit. So he's making sure they get some type of financial benefit to help them school their own children, because a lot of people don't want their children inundated or programmed with leftist ideology. He has 10 principles for great schools leading to great jobs. I'll go over those 10 principles right quick. You can click on that link. The principles are restoring parental rights so that the parents are well aware of what kind of teaching is going on in the schools, and parents can be involved in the schools. He said we're going to have great principals and great teachers, and all the ones that were Marxists and had Marxist ideologies that had infiltrated the school system, we're going to get rid of those, and parents can help as aid in that. And we're going to hire great principals to lead the schools. The third component is knowledge and skills. So we're going to focus on knowledge, skills, reading, writing, arithmetic, and vocation, rather than critical race theory and gender indoctrination, because critical race theory and gender indoctrination teaches one group that you are a slave and a perpetual victim, and it teaches another group that your people enslaved all other people, so you should feel guilty about that. The school is not the place for that. So he said, rather than focus on CRT, critical race theory, and gender indoctrination, we're going to focus on knowledge and skills so that our children can go and become productive citizens in society. We're going to teach and focus on love and country and love of country in our school system. They're going to have the freedom to pray. That's another component. We're going to have safe, secure, and drug-free schools, because drugs have infiltrated the school system, and many of our children are on drugs. And particularly, and this is not to make anybody feel bad, but when I show you statistics, you'll see statistics of homes without fathers kind of put children in a bad position to where a lot of them look for safety and refuge, and they go to drugs. Another principle of this Agenda 47, according to this particular component, is we'll have universal school choice. So students can choose wherever they want to go, whether it's homeschool, private school, public school, and it can be anywhere. It doesn't have to be the school that's designated by whoever is running the school system. We're going to have project-based learning so that children can learn hands-on in the schools. And that's good, especially for boys, because a lot of little boys learn by being hands-on. That's a part of the masculine principle, to explore, and to try things, to test things out. So we're going to have project-based learning, not just sitting in the classroom, learning, reading, writing, arithmetic only. We're going to have internships and work experiences as well, so that children can go out and actually sit with people who have done the job or are doing the work that they want to do when they graduate from school. And we're going to have jobs and career counseling. And this is very, very encouraging for me, because I am an educator. I have a PhD in education and counseling psychology, and I worked as a school administrator on the college campus. So this is exciting for me. And I've worked as a teacher in my family private school and in the public school. So I love this. So let me get back to here. We're going over the components of Agenda 47, which I said reads like NESARA. Keep chiming in. Let us know what you think, family, about this. All right. Another component, returning production of essential medicines back to America. So he says a part of his plan is to obtain total independence from China, because a lot of our medicines are coming from China. Now, I know we're going to eventually get rid of pharmaceuticals, but for now, a lot of it's being produced by China. We don't know what they're doing with our drugs, but we're going to phase in tariffs and import restrictions to bring back production of all essential medicines to the United States. He calls for the death penalty for human traffickers. If you think you're going to come over here and traffic our babies and our women and our boys, then you are going to get deleted. And that's how they used to do things in the Middle East. You steal, you get your hand chopped off. You do things to little boys, you get your private parts chopped off. You lie, you get your tongue chopped off. Trump said you come over here thinking you're going to traffic, you getting the death penalty. Rescuing Americans' auto industry, again, he's making sure that we bring back the industries so our big cities can thrive again. He's rebuilding the military. He's protecting our children from radical left and Marxist maniacs, infecting our educational institution. So all this agenda teaching, kids that you can be whatever sex you want, and teach critical race theory, we're getting rid of that. Protecting Americans also against big pharma. What else? Cementing fair and reciprocal trade within the Trump Reciprocal Trade Act. So under this act, other countries will have two choices. They'll get rid of their tariffs on us, or they'll pay us hundreds of billions of dollars, and the United States will make an absolute fortune. Another component is using empowerment to cut waste, stop inflation, crush the deep state. He'll also address the rise of chronic illness because our children are like coming up with cancer and terminal illness, and we are going to get to the bottom of that. We're going to put millions and billions of dollars into research to find out where that's coming from and to address it and heal and cure our children. He's going to end drug addiction in America by committing money to programs to get our families and our loved ones off of drugs. Then finally, in 3 years from now, we're going to have a huge independence celebration in Iowa on the Iowa State Fairgrounds, celebrating 200 years of American independence. We're going to execute order ending citizenship for children. So illegal aliens will come over here and have their kids, and then their kids will automatically become citizens. They call them anchor babies. We're going to get rid of that. Thank you, Trump and Trump brand. Thank you for restoring our republic, whoever's behind the Trump brand. And there's much more to it. Let me see if I can get to page 2. It doesn't want to show me page 2 for some reason. Well, while that's loading, let me show you some statistics. I'm going to put that in the description section for you, and I'll put it in the chat. But I want to show you some statistics right quick. I did a live like a week ago. It's called "This is a State of Emergency. I'm concerned about the state of our women and children." And I'm going to show you some statistics that are alarming, because we really need to get our children back in the homes. Fatherless home statistics. I'll bring this up in a minute. Oh man, where is it? My phone is ringing off the hook. Okay, I'll bring that up in a minute. Let me see if I can get back to this Trump page. No, page 2 just doesn't want to load, or did it load? Maybe it did. Protect students from radical Marxists. Oh, and we're going to end the nightmare of homelessness, drug addicts, and dangerously deranged people. We're going to liberate America from a regulatory onslaught. No longer will unelected members of the Washington swamp be allowed to act as the fourth branch of our republic. He's going to fire radical Marxist prosecutors that are destroying America. He has a plan to dismantle the deep state and return power to the American people. He says ending the deep state, rogue bureaucrats, and career politicians, and government corruption as a part of Agenda 47. He's going to end Biden's war on the suburbs that pushes the American dream further from reach. He's going to eject money into the economy, and he highlighted the importance of not bailing out banks that have collapsed under Joe Biden's disastrous economy. We're going to prevent World War III. I told you a component of NESARA is world peace. And that's a component of also Project Sandman, a secret agreement to not only drop the dollar and go to the gold standard, but also to have world peace. 209 nations already did that. They agreed to that. A new quantum leap to revolutionize the American standard of living. It's time to talk about greatness in our country again. He talks about freedom cities, and I've done a podcast on that. I'll do another one on that so you can know that the freedom cities, they look like beautiful, glorious cities, flying cars, having advanced technology. All of that's ushered in. That's NESARA. Reverse the executive order embedding Marxism in the federal government. He's going to get rid of that. He's pledged to eradicate any attempt to weaken America's institutions through harmful and discriminatory equity programs. Everybody's going to be on an equal playing field, and that's why we're going to have trillions of dollars ejected into the global economy. That's why everybody's going to have a certain amount of money put into their quantum accounts. It's going to look like a universal basic income. Everybody over the age of 21 will have thousands of dollars put into their account. He's going to slash trade deficits that under Biden's watch. He has new trade policies to protect American workers. We're going to continue to lead on protecting Americans from radical left. He announced a plan to stop the America's last warmongering and globalists. And under this particular tenet, he announced his plan to defeat the America last warmongers and globalists in the deep state, the Pentagon, the State Department, and the national security. In other words, he even said it. I am totally obliterating the deep state. He announced his plan to end crime and restore law and order according to our Constitution. He's going to make American energy again, no longer dependent on energy, oil, and all that coming from Saudi Arabia. That's why the contract between Saudi Arabia and America was not renewed as of June the 9th. He's going to stop Chinese espionage. As a matter of fact, 400 million people defected from the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, but Trump said that under Biden's weak leadership allowed China to trample on American sovereignty, and he's going to restore our sovereignty, which means he's ushering back in the republic. He's going to build a new missile defense shield. He calls for immediate de-escalation and peace in the world. He plans to protect children from left-wing gender nonsense. He plans to save our education and bring power back to the family. He's going to protect Medicare and Social Security. So somebody said that he was going to end Social Security. Under this plan, he's going to protect Social Security. That's a NESARA component, that Social Security benefits will actually increase when NESARA is ushered in. He's going to stop China from owning America. That's why Evergrande, the largest real estate entity owned by China, filed bankruptcy here in America. They own land here. They filed bankruptcy and they were commanded to liquidate their assets. All this is happening under Trump. The Trump image, the Trump brand, whether it's the man or the entity and the machine behind him. And those are benevolent entities. Remember, I told you, the military is in control. They're restoring our republic. They're using Trump's image to do this. President Donald Trump calls for a probe into the intelligence community role in online censorship. He's getting rid of censorship. And that's why he signed the Declaration, the Bill of Rights, the Bill of Digital Rights. He signed that December the 13th. He wasn't even the president. He did that in 2022 or 2023. He wasn't even of course he is the commander in chief, really. But under Biden's watch, he actually signed the Digital Bill of Rights on the Bill of Rights anniversary. And lastly, he has a free speech policy. He announced a new policy initiative aimed to dismantle the censorship cartel and restore free speech. So you can look at that, DonaldJTrump.com/agenda47. And I'm telling you, that is NESARA. That will be ushered in, and it's going to be ushered in at a time such as this. And we couldn't do it under Biden's watch, but Biden is gone. That's right. I hope you've enjoyed that, family. And finally, let me show you something. This is where you can find that. Let me show you this. Let me show you something. Please look at my video here. Oh no, that's another one. That's somebody else's video on marriage, but I'm saying return to a marriage counselor. And my husband passed 2 years ago, but I am in the market for marriage. And my son said, Mom, don't be shy at announcing that you're in the market for marriage again. How else will men know that you are available if you don't make the announcement? And don't worry about women that will say you're a pick me or you're desperate, because you need a male covering. Your sons are here to protect you, but you need companionship. You desire companionship. So it's okay to say you're in the market to be married again. I believe in marriage. I believe in a marriage culture. There are men that have stood up to say that they're interested, and I'm going to entertain them. Hello. Yeah, Biden is out of here. Yes, ma'am. Let me show you this, family, right quick. Elon Musk posted about his son today. Okay, awesome. Look at these here. Fatherless statistics. Fatherless home statistics. Fatherlessness has become a concerning trend, with a significant number of children growing up without an engaged and involved father. The following stats shed light on the prevalence and impact of fatherless homes in our society. Number one, 63% of our youth suicides are from fatherless homes. Youth suicides, 63% of them come from fatherless home. Number two, 90% of all homelessness or homeless and runaway children are from fatherless homes. 90%. And what happens when they do that? That now they're at risk of being trafficked because they have to do something to eat, or selling their bodies, or being exploited. 90% of all homeless and runaway children are from fatherless homes. Thirdly, 85% of all children who show behavior disorders come from fatherless homes. Fourthly, 80% of rapists with anger problems come from fatherless homes. Fifthly, 71% of all high school dropouts come from fatherless homes. Sixthly, 75% of all adolescent patients in chemical abuse centers come from fatherless homes. Next, 70% of juveniles in state-operated institutions come from fatherless homes. Finally, 85% of all youth sitting in prison today grow up in fatherless homes. If that doesn't impact you and hurt your soul, it should. I'll read it again. 63% of youth homicides are from fatherless homes. 90% of all homelessness and runaway children are from fatherless homes. 85% of all children who show behavior disorders come from fatherless homes. 80% of rapists with anger problems come from fatherless homes. 71% of high school dropouts come from fatherless homes. 75% of adolescent patients in chemical abuse centers come from fatherless homes. 70% of juveniles in state-operated institutions come from fatherless homes. And finally, 85% of all youth sitting in prison today come from fatherless homes. We need fathers back in the homes. We need that. So, family, hit the thumbs up button. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. We've got to get our fathers back involved with our children. It doesn't matter whose fault it is that they're not in the homes. Let's get them back in the homes. And I know that there are certain instances where, things just don't work out, and I get it. Or, maybe your happiness is more important. I get it. But what I'm telling you, family, is you got to get these fathers back involved in our children's lives, because a woman that grows up without a father doesn't know how to relate to a man. She looks at a man's voice as being threatening, instead of understanding that men are direct. Men solve problems. They'll hear your problems, but they are about solutions. If you don't come from a home with a father in there, you think a man is just trying to judge you, when he's just trying to solve your problems, because that's what he was created for. A man growing up in a home without a father doesn't know how to provide and protect. It becomes difficult for him unless he goes out there and he makes mistakes and he learns. Men have a little more time to get it together. They can go out there. They can live and survive in the wilderness. For the most part, women can't. We can be taken advantage of. We can be used. We're not built to be out here working 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a day. This is not the way we were built. We're built to preserve our energy, because we're lovers, we're nurturers. So we're not supposed to be out here dealing with all these energies, all this masculine energy, all the energies in the world. That was not how we were designed. So we need our men to do that work for us. And we got to get these fathers back in the home. Single father, God bless you, Chief Hawk. He's single father of 4. Ladies, you got a single man here of 4 children. And it doesn't matter to me. It's a difference between a man having children and a woman Because a man being alone can find a woman typically. A woman being alone with children, it becomes a little more challenging to find a husband because it's not really innate or in the man to take care of another man's seed. He will, but it's just not in him. It takes a lot more for him because he knows that it's not really that much honor in it, because a child can grow up and say, "You're not my dad," or he's taking care of another man's seed, and it doesn't really help his bloodline. So he'll do it, but it's a little more easy for him to find a woman if he's a single man, and harder for a woman to find a man. I'm just keeping it real. And then you got to be careful as a woman. You don't want this. You don't bring men in the house with your daughters who's a younger, more youthful, more vital, more beautiful version of you. Why would you bring a man into your home and put him in that predicament? Why would you put her in that predicament? His eyes might wonder, he's human. Y'all be acting stupid. When we were growing up, you couldn't even sit. Our mother said, you don't even sit in your daddy's lap beyond a certain age. You don't sit in any man's lap, not your uncle's, not your daddy, not Mr. John. I don't care, not even your godfather. Because when you do, his penis becomes erected. And you know what? Men cannot control their genitals. It gets erected when it sees something that's young, vital, and able to produce children. Y'all act like y'all don't know. You need fathers because you don't know this. It's only natural for a man to get an erection when he sees a beautiful lady, and then you're gonna have them around your young daughters. Y'all just ignorant. A second interview with JFK, it should be up. Patriot Pam said, I came from a fatherless home. It's hard. It is. Thankfully, even some of us that do, our mothers still allowed us to have a relationship with our dads, and that was good. Because we learn how to deal with men. If you didn't grow up around a man, you don't know how to deal with his voice. You don't know that he solves solutions. You don't understand that he will put your life on the line. Stop saying you can't submit to a man. You will not submit. A man submits to you every day, because if he makes you his woman, then he's submitting to you, because it's not in a man's nature to be with one man. Men tell us this, we don't listen. We need to start listening to men. You want a man, you want a husband, ask him, what do you need? And then comply and get it together and qualify for him. Okay, men fight battles, they solve problems. It's what they do. So we got to know what it is that men need and what they desire, what they want, what they're looking for, and qualify. So a man finds solutions, a man works hard. Oh, if he commits to you, it's not in his nature to be with one woman. That's why he got a lot of sperm. They tell us this all the time. A lot of sperm trying to get out. Because they want to populate as many women and have sex with as many women as they can. But they commit to you. That's submission. They go against their own biological nature to commit to you and only you and have sex with you for the rest of their lives. That's submission. Stop saying men don't submit, so you can't submit. If there's a bump in the night and you hear something go on outside, he put his life on the line. He fights for you. He put his life on the line for you. If there's not enough food to eat, he's going to go without so you and the children can eat. That's submission. So to submit to a man means to yield. It doesn't mean that you under his feet. And stop saying, if I'm pleasant and sweet, then he's going to take advantage of me. No, you're not taking accountability for not being pleasant, sweet, and feminine. You're making up excuses for why. Well, I'll do it when I get the right man. No, you won't, because what's in you is going to come out. If she's already pleasant, sweet, and kind and feminine, that's who she is. That's who she's going to be. Trust and believe. A woman that says, I'll do it when I get the right man, is not telling the truth. She's making up excuses for why she won't do what's right. You got to qualify. When I got divorced, my sons went to live with their father. It was the best decision for them. There are statistics, Sister Rachel, out that says that children actually do better with single fathers than they do single mothers. Kids need both parents. Thank you. Facts. That's probably my cue. All right, family, my time is up. It's 3:00. My name is Dr. Kia Pruitt. I thank you so much, family, for all that you've done for me. I've had a couple of, I want to thank you for the cash apps. I had a couple cash apps come out through the night. If you want to support the work at the Dr. Kia Pruitt Show, then please send a cash app to $Mama Kia, MAMAKIA 13. That's $Kia Mama Mama Kia 13, thank you, Kenneth. Thank you, Sister Doris. Thank you, QOJ. Thank you, Charmaine. Thank you, Roger. Thank you, Courtney. Thank you, Herman. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Tawana. Thank you, Simona, so much for your Cash App blessing. God bless you. Heaven smile upon you. My name is Dr. Kia Pruitt. I hope I've said something to raise your vibrations and inspire you to create the most amazing, magnificent life that you desire and deserve. And I see you, Mike C. I can't put the link up, but you contributed $5. It says Dr. Kia is a national treasure for all men. And she's speaking the truth. Thanks. I love you so much, family. Go out and make this a great day. I hope I said something to inspire you to create the most amazing, magnificent life that you desire and deserve. Take care, family. Thank you, Chief Hawk. Hey, I'm available. So that's it, family. My email is kiapruitt@gmail.com. I'll try to get to the email. Sometime I don't get to them all because I am busy. I'm helping to raise grandchildren and I'm doing podcasts and keeping my ear to the ground. Take care, family. I love you. We'll come back later to talk about the components of NESARA. Peace. You're welcome.